why did I choose Vietnam specifically? When I first decided that I wanted to pursue a longer term, like slow traveling into our lives, I know I wanted to do Southeast Asia for a few different reasons. Number one is the cost of living. As a financial professional, as somebody who is used to budgeting and dealing responsible response dealing responsibly with money, I wanted to be sure that I cut down our cost of living so that we can live a good and decent life, and also use the excess money to do things like invest or try to have some business opportunities and find ways for our money to work for us. And so Southeast Asia is good in that the cost of living is very low. Specifically here in Vietnam, it's one of the most affordable countries here. Number two, Vietnam is very family friendly, and their culture is very warm and family friendly. Now, I'm not saying that it is perfect in Vietnam. It absolutely is not. And for some people, if this is your first country that you've ever visited outside of the US, it can be a culture shock, right? Because we were used to traveling, because we've been to Asia and Africa and different places before, I already know what the deal is. I already know that when I come to a country, being a melanated person, I'm going to look differently than everybody else. I expect that people are going to stare at me. I expect that people might have questions for me. I expect that some people might be friendly and some people might not be. It's, to me, similar to the States in that everybody is not welcoming and friendly. Some people are, some people aren't. So if you decide that you want to move abroad, you have to kind of manage your expectations and know that it's not always going to be, rose petals all around you. Sometimes you're going to get people who are rude. Sometimes you might find that it's not friendly. You might get culture shock from here to there. It's just like a part of the journey. So, yeah. But for the most part, it is very family friendly. It's also very safe. So, in a lot of different parts of Vietnam, there are like expat communities, are bubbles. Like there's bubbles where there's more foreign people. You might find more groceries or food or things like that that kind of cater to foreigners. That's where I'm in. That's not for everybody. Some people want the local experience. Me, for right now, I am okay in an expat bubble because it gives me the opportunity to be in the culture, venture out to more local places when I want to. But for the sake of me and my kids' safety, we're in this little bubble. They have access to a pool. My kids go to art, dance, take Mandarin classes, pretty much anything that we would do in the States. What I also like is that for me personally, I have access to a nanny, which is very helpful. So somebody else to help me with, rearing the kids, cooking, taking them to different places so that I have time to pour back in myself, which was important. In the States, I felt like I was losing myself inside working or the household responsibilities, and I didn't remember who I was anymore. I was just a caregiver, catering to my husband, catering to my kids, catering to everybody else, but not to me. So one of my intentions when I first got here is like, okay, I want to make sure that I have dedicated time every day for me, and I have activities that are just for me. And so the great thing about Vietnam, I have access to a yoga studio. So I take private yoga classes 3 times a week. I also have a personal trainer here. 2 days a week, I work with my personal trainer. So I'm prioritizing my fitness. I'm pouring back into myself. Couple days of the week when the nanny is here, I do my what I call my goddess days. So I make sure I do things that I enjoy. So I get my nails done, I might get a facial, I might get a massage, I might go to a coffee shop and just read. I might go wherever. I just might go. Like even if I just want to just do nothing, I might do that. And then if there's a lot of different activities for the kids. So there's a water park nearby, there's an amusement park, there's a mall. Because there's a lot of different expat families around, there's always birthday parties or cookouts or little events so that I don't get so homesick. Like there is definitely a community here, which is why I really love Vietnam. So let me just remember. So the cost of living, the ability for me to prioritize myself again, access to different activities at an affordable price for me, like the personal training, the private yoga classes, activities for my kids. And we're going to kind of switch it up because that's what world schooling is about. So there's opportunities for horseback riding, or golf lessons, tennis, basketball, soccer, different things like that at a very affordable cost. And then there's a growing expat community and melanated expat community as well. So, we have the opportunity to be social. It also gives me opportunity to work on growing my business because I have more free time to myself. So those are the reasons why I chose Vietnam. And that's why I think Vietnam is perfect for us for right now. I will say before I got here, I really didn't know what to expect from Vietnam. I was watching videos, specifically TikTok videos, and I saw some people like the Beasleys and different people sharing pieces of Vietnam that gave me an idea of what it was like. So I kind of had an idea before I got here what it was like, but a lot of things surprised me, and it was a lot of things that I had to learn by trial and error, which is hilarious. I'll be sharing some of those videos throughout the course of my YouTube journey, so be sure to follow along if that's something that you want to see. One thing I can think of off the top of my head is when I first got here, so you don't really drink tap water here. Even in the States, we weren't drinking tap water. And so as an alternative, a lot of people buy these big jugs of water, right? And so somebody gave me the number to a delivery service. They deliver the jugs. But I guess he didn't know it was my first time ever using these jugs. And so he didn't really give me any instructions. He just dropped it off and was like, here you go. And I was like, okay, well, here we go. And I cut like the tape off of the jug. And then I put my cup under there to like get the water out, and like the water wasn't coming out. Like it was drip, drop, drip, drop. And I'm like, well, how does this work? Why is it not squirting out? And what I did was, what did I do? Oh, I messed up the spigot because I was like, maybe I don't have it open the right way. And so I messed it up. And then we were going out to the water park with some friends. And when I came back, it was leaking because I didn't turn it to the side. And the whole thing leaked all over the floor. And it was flooded. And it was just a mess. And I was like, oh my gosh. Now I know when you get those big jugs, you're actually supposed to take off the top and puncture a hole in the top because the air allows the water to flow better. And so just little things like that are some things that I had to get used to and learn the hard way about Vietnam. I think that what surprises me most about Vietnam is how comfortable I am. To an extent, like it's not back home, but now that I've settled in, I feel really comfortable here. It feels like it could be a home base for a while, and I wasn't expecting that. But once we sold our house and everything became real, it was like, man, I could literally see myself living here for a few years. So what surprised me the most about Vietnam is how it's come to feel like a place that we could stay at. It's been about 4 months, right?